Repzion, or that's what you call yourself. There's quite a few things I need to say to you, son. I believe it was Ralph Waldo Emerson that said, "Youth is wasted on the young." The first thing I need to say to you is, before you go on a rant, consider the background that you have in your video. You're talking about somebody like James Yeager and how he's not supposed to have guns, while your background is littered with comic books. You have a picture of Boba Fett over your right shoulder, and Batman, a bust of Batman, over your left shoulder. Are you kidding me? You really expect people to take you seriously? You are very much what is wrong with the country. You are very much a product of liberal indoctrination. You cannot go out here and talk about what a man's done unless you've been in that man's shoes. Ask yourself something. When was the last time you were shot at? Oh, I don't mean online. I mean in the real world. When were you shot at? Remember, not only was he a civilian contractor in Iraq, he was an undercover cop. This is all before he did tactical response. So while you're sitting there in your room that your parents paid for, consider the fact that you need to grow up just a little bit. Get a real job. Put down the comic books and Call of Duty if you have it. And actually join the real world, where us grown-ups deal with stuff every day. And what do I mean by you being a product of liberal indoctrination? You see, only a liberal would go out here and say, "Oh, I welcome background checks," not knowing that it is the very background check that you welcome that creates a database for the government, for at a later time can go out here and take your weapon that you say you have away. It's fine to go out here in mommy and daddy's room that they paid for with your comic books and rant about all the bad things in life when you haven't even lived long enough to even experience them yourself. What you need to do is to get unplugged from the matrix of PlayStation 4 or whatever else game console that you have and join the real world to see what life is really about. Because life doesn't have a restart button, doesn't have a reset button where you can do over. Because if you catch a 9mm in the forehead, it is game over for you, and there's no coming back from that. I can't tell you to respect your elders because you obviously don't. But what I can tell you, son, is to grow up. And yes, I am calling you son because you are a little boy. Now, if you were my little boy, we would have a completely different conversation. But you're still a little boy, nonetheless. So, what you need to do is grow up, or just quit making videos and go back to Call of Duty, your comic books, Boba Fett, Batman, and whatever else you have. And stay in your little fantasy world. And let us grown-ups take care of the real problems that are out here.